What's up, guys? My name's Dayo, and this is Spyro the Dragon for PlayStation 1. Let's get right into this run with the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hype up, hype up, hype up. Hype in the chat. Any cute chats here? So this game is the classic, very first Spyro game for PlayStation 1, released back in 1998. There have been a number of games and spin-offs released since then. One in particular that you may be familiar with is Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which came out in 2018. That is the version of the game that is based on this one, as well as the other two in the original trilogy, but it's not the same mechanically. It's a different game with its own speed community and a whole community behind that. So this is the very OG Bobby Johnson original game from your childhood that you may or may not remember. Also, Spyro 2 and 3, huge speed communities for those games as well. So if you're curious, be sure to check out speedrun.com/Spyro1. You can also check out the whole Spyro series on there as well. And we have a very active Discord that I would love to see new players getting into. And there are plenty of people who stream it every day. So I just want to say, if you're curious about these games, feel free to follow the game directories on Twitch. Literally just look up Spyro the Dragon or Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, and you are guaranteed to be seeing somebody running this game or Spyro 2 or Spyro 3 at any given time. So whatever is your nostalgic favorite, I definitely recommend following those games or just checking them out, digging a little deeper on the internet and seeing what you can find with those, because there's a lot of stuff to uncover. Now, moving over to this run, I'm playing the any percent category right now. There's two main categories of this game, which are any percent and 120%. That would be like the any percent would be like complete the game as quickly as possible, and 120% would be like collect everything and complete the game. Now, in order to complete the game as quickly as possible here, you'll notice that I'm collecting gems and dragons. You might be thinking, like, why not just run straight to the end of the game? Well, there's balloonists, 5 balloonists in this game that stop you from moving on to the next homeworld until you've collected, in order, 5 dragon eggs, 6,000 gems, and 50 dragons. And the biggest problem with those requirements is the 6,000 gems. That's a lot of gems, y'all. Even with some of these, you know, more valuable gems, 5, 10 valued gems, you see the different colors mean different values of gems. Even with collecting a lot of them, getting to 6,000 actually requires a lot of careful gem routing. So you'll notice I'll be going out of my way in order to collect certain gems at certain times, even though it's like, why not just go straight to the dragon here, or why not go straight to the end? It's in order to maximize what we call our gems per second. And so throughout this game, if you see me going out of my way, consider how many gems per second I'm getting with my route. And you can even get creative. If you run this game yourself, you can even get creative with what gems you decide to go for and which gems you decide to omit. I also have a cool little Alex Destra. I also have a cool little piece of paper right here that keeps track of all my gem counts that I should have at the end of each level. So I'll be referring to that periodically throughout the run as I go through it. Now, getting to what's happening on screen right here, I did a couple of cool little tricks in order to get up to this higher side of the level first by doing a tight jump to get up there, as well as flaming that fan chest right there. I tried to flame the fan chest early, but I didn't quite get to it after the dragon quickly enough, so I had to hit another 3 flames to catch it in time. Now check out that swag roll right there. You notice I went around the side of that dragon right there, and what's cool about that is, in order to maximize the speed for each dragon, you have to touch it on the correct side. So if I were to touch it on the closest side to me there, the back side of the dragon, if you will, Spyro would have had to walk all the way around. Oh, and first of all, check out this wall glide right here. Oh, are we gonna get it? You can only stand on a few polygons here, and we're out of there. Beautiful. You can only touch these dragons in specific spots in order to maximize the time that Spyro spends walking to the spot where the dragon will actually explode. So that's why you'll see me running around the backs of dragons periodically. Nice flame charge on that guy. Now you notice on that second, look at this, boom! Oh, with those flames right there. What I'm trying to do is, when you flame a box or an enemy in this game, what'll happen is the gem will pop up into the air. By the way, done with the first homeworld artisans in only 3 minutes. It's a pretty fast-paced run, and so you can see I'm just barely keeping up with everything that's happening here. Whenever you flame an enemy or a box in this game, the gem just pops up into the air. Whereas when you charge into an enemy or box, the gem homes into you. Now, when you see me play, you'll notice that I'll be flaming enemies and boxes, but the gem will still home in. Take, for example, this enemy right here. Take a look. So I flamed him, but the gem homed in. Same thing with this guy. And the reason that happens is because the gem actually spawns at the bottom of each enemy in box's hitbox. So if we can charge into that hitbox right as it's exploding out of it from a flame, then we can essentially trick the game into thinking that we charged into it. And so this creates a lot of nuanced speed tech where we're trying to get that proper spacing and speed with our flames to charges. See right there how I had to kind of charge off to the side of that fan chest? That allowed me to flame charge the fan chest. So each box, each fan chest, each enemy has its own flame charge timing and spacing, which adds a lot of depth to the movement in this game, which is part of the reason why I just love it as a speed game. Now, to kind of move back a little bit here, I think we have a few. That's just a nice little introduction there for now. Let's take a moment at this point just to have some donations. So if we have any coming in right now would be probably a great time. So I'll let the lady talk. Blah blah blah. We got $20 from. Da, 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 da. I don't want to be too like donations being read right now. I don't want to be too like talkative like through the whole thing. I feel like I'm being really talkative. Okay, so I just missed a pretty clutch jump right there. In order to catch that jump, you actually have to charge off the ledge and extend the length of the ledge in order to get what's called a charge glide. You'll notice with each of these glides, I'm actually charging and then gliding in order to maximize the height and distance, but I didn't quite get it enough for that one jump that I did earlier, so almost getting that, but ending the level right here with our boy, Maximos. So, guys, we've been talking about the game here for a minute. We've been kind of getting into it. Let me just take a step back and just talk a little bit about myself and my history with this game and kind of talk about its kind of speedrun origins. I got into speedrunning this game back in 2013. And back in those days, there were only like a few runs on the Google Doc leaderboards, and it was a very kind of scattered speed game. There have been a lot of legendary dedicated runners throughout the years for this game in particular, as well as Spyro 2 and 3. But a couple of runners that come to mind are Chris LBC, Saboom, and Tuval. Just those three guys alone. Hold up, Mama Proxy. Can we get it? Oh, look at that. So before I continue on with that story, let me just explain what happened right there. So what I did was I squeezed between the mama and the wall in order to bounce up into the air. We call that a proxy, and you'll be seeing an example of that later on near the end of the run with an even tougher enemy, one of the little rat fodders. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a tough one, and I may or may not get it, so it's going to be fingers crossed. Pray for me. Anyways, I hope this run is giving some nostalgic flashbacks to some of you guys out there who may have not seen this game since your childhood, perhaps. So, hitting that rocket from below right there, you're actually, I think by the level like layout, you're supposed to hit that rocket later on in the level, but you can just barely jump high enough to hit it with your flame hitbox. But so yeah, getting back to some of my history with this game, Saboom and Chris, these are guys that really have been pioneering the runs for this game since like about that time, 2013, all the way through 2018, and you know, having really prominent figures in the community playing for so long and seeing that on websites like Speedruns Live and just watching that for so many years and gradually streaming. I've been streaming this game ever since 2014, and I'm really lucky to have gotten a lot of support from the PlayStation speedrunning community and a lot of recognition and love from people over the years. So to anybody who's watching, who's a PlayStation runner, to anybody who knows, you know, who's from the chat or anything like that, I just want to say I love you guys so much. We're all, to me, you know, it's not just like about the Spyro games, but there's a lot of crossover between Crash, Ratchet and Clank, and all of the games in between there. So, you know, I got to show some love for my PlayStation homies out there. The Rixer, you know, amongst others who made an amazing documentary about me. You know, it's really cool to have support from a community like this, and I think that community aspect is one thing that draws a lot of people to speedrunning, and I think it's really strong with this particular series. And you'll see that a lot, even without speedrunning, just in the Spyro fandom, you can see a lot of like that community aspect and a lot of just like general love and nostalgia for these truly classic games. I think Spyro as a series, Spyro and Crash, they've kind of been pushed to the wayside over the years, you know? It's like they've kind of been forgotten and then, you know, rebooted, and then, you know, people play them for a sec and then forget, but the true hardcore dedicated fans of these games are always going to be around, and they're always prominent and out and about. And if you're one of those people, definitely explore the speed run of this game, explore the Reddit, explore all that stuff, because you know, there's a whole fandom out here for this game. Can I get... Yes, I got the cliff jump. That jump is very tight, even tighter than it looks, but it unlocks a route that saves a grand total of Drum roll, please. 1 second. So anyways, we're about to head over to Night Flight right now. This is going to be the second flight level of the game. Each homeworld has has a flight levels, and there's five homeworlds. So during this chill, nostalgic Night Flight right here, we have time for a few donations. So let's get into it. Yeah, I'm talking a lot, aren't I? I'll give it like a minute for like donations. We have $20 from my grandma fucked my wife. Wait a minute. My dog Bernard says, good luck on the run, Dayo. Delete these nuts. There'll probably be some funny donations like that for sure. I'll get to say hi to some of you guys. This is where I'd be like looking over at the chat and shit like that. Bernard, shout outs to Bernard. And then at this point she'll be like, got time for a few more? Like, yeah, keep going. Yeah, keep going. We got time for a few more. We're just flaming some boxes here. $100 from Toulouse. Let's go, Toulouse, the fat cat. I have a fat cat named Toulouse. He is very big and very fluffy. If you want to see more of him, I have an emote of him. Can I get some Toulousers in the chat? Any Toulouse fans out here? To anybody who loves a big, fat, whiny cat who just wants to be pet and fed, you know, this one goes out to you. Yeah, whiteboard. Yes. So some of you guys may be wondering where my username Dayoman comes from. All right. Well, actually, there's a story behind it, and it goes all the way back to when I was in 3rd grade. So when I was in 3rd grade, there was a big whiteboard in the class, and we could draw whatever we wanted on there. You know, you could just go up to it and just draw whatever. And so people would draw like, you know, cute like flowers or like that superhero S thing. You know what I'm talking about. But I didn't know how to draw anything. I was like super artistically untalented. So I would just draw the word yo in little square letters, just like boom, 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 like yo, like quick little tag, like, and then I go out to recess acting all cool, like, yeah, no one saw me. And so I did that for like a week straight, maybe 2 weeks straight. And then after like a week of that, I was sitting at my desk and I heard some kids standing over by the whiteboard. They were like, man, who keeps writing yo on the whiteboard? Like, who's the yo man? And I'm like, I'm the yo man. I didn't say it, but to myself, I was sitting there, I was like, I'm the yo man. I was like eavesdropping. Like all sneaky. I felt like Splinter Cell or something. It's all sneaky. Like, yeah, I'm the yo man. Yeah, I'm so sick. And so later that night, I made a RuneScape profile for the first time. And I called it the yo man. And instantly, when I'd go up to players in the game, they were like, hey, what's up, Dayo? And I've always like sort of identified with that little like just Dayo. I don't even call myself Dayo man. It's just I'm just Dayo now, and I kind of like it. You know, it's a funny little username. But yeah, cute stories, cute vibes. Anyways, so basically we're in Ice Cavern right now. We're about to finish up the Peacekeeper's homeworld. We're going to be done with 2 out of 5 of the homeworlds right now. And in this particular spot, we want to make it to the dragon that's at the end of this inner cavern here. But this spot has some kind of tight movement in it. Another nice flame charge here. And you want to be able to get this guy off the edge while catching his gem out of the air. In 120%, we want to sideswipe these pulls. You can notice with that first pull, I sideswiped it, so that way I didn't bonk off of it. The 120% category of this game is actually honestly my favorite if I had to pick one, because there's just so much extra nuance to the way that you pick up gems and like avoid bonking and avoid certain enemy cycles. With this category, it's more like you're just burning through everything and you're just trying to collect everything efficiently and quickly and get out of there. So we're already moving through. Now check this out. You can't see because I don't have the input viewer, but I was actually not holding square for that section. I was pressing X then square in order to jump and then charge over and over. X square, X square, X square, X square. Super quick like that, because that's actually a faster way to ascend a steep slope like that. But with downward slopes, you want to charge down those because those speed you up. So there's a lot, and we're talking like the difference of like frames, like less than a second. But these little frames in your movement tend to add up if you're really focused throughout a run and you're really catching stuff. Now, that was one of the, not the first, but one of the first thieves of the run right there. And you'll notice that I flamed him and did a charging jump, right? So what happens when you flame those guys normally is they'll make you stop for a moment and they give you like the little egg, right? Those are the dragon egg guys, the little blue na-na-na-na-na. Those guys, don't lie to me. Those guys gave you so much trouble as a kid. Don't lie to me. I know. Dude, and they're even harder in Reignited Chili. That's the part that blows my mind. You'd think they would have made those guys easier in the remake, but no, they're even harder in the remake. But anyways, those are the guys that give you the dragon eggs, and we need 5 of those at the end of this homeworld in order to progress. So pay close attention to how I'm flaming them, because if you jump while flaming them, you'll skip the animation. It's a cool little speed tech. Saves like almost a second. Ooh, got a little bonk right there. Now the cycles in this level are actually particularly tight. Barely catching the stairs there. They're about to go down. Nice flame charge on the fan chest. I snuck in a little roll right there in order to reposition myself during the cooldown between each flame. Ugh. But yeah, man, a little bit, just to tell you guys a little bit more about myself, you know, I've besides speedrunning this game for so many years now at this point, oh geez, oh my god. Okay, that was even tighter than it looked. Hold on, let me explain that. So actually, I almost went through that platform. Sometimes you see how fast that platform raises. Sometimes if you're charging downward through the air with full force, you'll go straight through that platform. I literally almost had a heart attack right there. That was a very close one. Anyways. So besides speedrunning, guys, you know, I don't know about some of you guys out here, but to those of you who are really like interested in speedrunning and into like Twitch streaming and playing games and stuff, it can be hard to like balance it with like the rest of your life. So for me, I'm always trying to go out and like skate and do like silly little stuff like that. I'm also trying to become a music teacher right now. So shout outs to everyone out there who's trying to find balance in their life, who's trying to, you know, do something but keep their love for gaming and their childhood classics alive. You know, it's a tough balance to strike, and if you're out there and you're feeling something about like the balance of your work and play and hobbies and what you want to do with your life, just know I'm right there with you, and I know how you feel. Straight up. Yeah, hearts in the chat. Cute vibes, man. Cute vibes. Let me tell you guys something. So some of you guys may or may not recognize me from GDQ 2020. I was the guy on Chris LBC's couch during the first run of that event wearing the Spyro onesie outfit. That's how you know I'm a true fan. All right, I dressed up, man, fully for that commentary, you know. I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated. And yeah, I was going to wear the onesie for this run, but hey, you know what? If we get lucky at the end of this run, who knows? I might just slap on the onesie again. We'll see. We'll see. But one thing that I really loved about that run, after me and Chris looked back at the VOD later, and one thing I loved about that run was that everyone in the chat was just spamming the nicest stuff that I've ever seen. Not even spamming, just saying cute chat and like, you got this, and oh, I missed this game, and I love that game. And you know, like, I'll be honest, I see messages like that in my own chat like all the time. And you know, when I look at other streams and I look at how like a Spyro speedrunning stream is, I feel super lucky, just, you know, echoing that feeling of just feeling lucky to be among such a cool crowd of people, you know. It's a blessing to be among like-minded people, I think. And if you like Spyro, then you're a like-minded person to me, as far as I'm concerned. And cute, also. Okay, so this level is intense right here. We're about to... Oh my god, I got the proxy. That's a very rare proxy. I spawned inside one of the little fodder, one of those green... That guy right there that I just killed. Now take a look at this supercharge right here. This is one of the craziest supercharges of the run right here. Can I nail it? Okay, hold on. We're not done. To the left here. We call this supercharged bike caves. It's named after a Skype emote. Don't ask me why. Oh! Okay, nice. We got the tough jump right there. We did miss a couple gems, but we're doing great right now. Move it through. You can get bounced around right there, and when you get bounced around a lot on your supercharge, it can just auto-cancel the supercharge, so I got very lucky there. Everything worked out nicely. You got to jump off the perfect polygons there in order to make those jumps, especially up the stairs in the cavern there, so super awesome execution. You'll love to see it. Exit the level after the most valuable gems are collected in that level, right? You'd think we'd exit after a dragon or something, but no. We really need to maximize that gem count. So I exit right when I jump into that last 2 gem right there. I don't even want the reds. I just want that last 2 gem to really maximize the gems per second. Can I hit both of these guys? No, I didn't, but that's okay. The other guy only had it 2. Same thing with this supercharge. Taking it wide so that way I can make it into the portal without flying all the way over. Yeah, it was the Ajax proxy. Dude, shout out to the Ajax proxy. That can actually happen on a couple other dragons in this game, specifically in the Dreamweaver's homeworld. So yeah, oh, can I catch him in time? Ooh, barely. A beautiful clutch flame charge jump to get that guy. Okay, moving around to the right here. Very valuable gems in these enemies and in these boxes, so we want to try to maximize that. Again, so if I miss any of these, if I'm a little bit off with my spacing when I flame and then charge into these enemies, that gem is not going to home in. I'm just going to have to keep going. So that could be, I could be out 10 gems right there, and that could totally adjust the route later on in the run as I keep moving through the game. So I'm really trying to be, especially at this point in the game, I'm really trying to be discerning about what gems I'm grabbing. I missed a purple, not purple, a blue there. So just trying to keep an eye on it as I'm going through. Jeez. Okay, grab it. Ooh. Okay, so so I'm good. I almost died right there. We're good. We're good. Animation skip on that thief and an intentional death abuse right there. Barely recovering that. Also missed a couple blues during that supercharge section. We'll see how that turns out at the end of this level for my gem route as we continue through this run. Touching Hexus on the right side right there. Speaking of Hexus, shoutouts to AGDQ 2020. Ah, Hexus. Ah, Hexus. Oh, okay, I wasn't supposed to get that guy. That's fine. Oh, nope. Laura's crying right now. Laura told me not to do that. Okay, we can skip that thief back there because we already have 5 eggs at this point now. You can hit all 3 of those boxes. I missed the first one right there, so I played it safe. Definitely skipping over a few gems in that section that I could have grabbed, so we'll see how the gem count's looking when I exit the level here. I'm going to be referring to my little notepad here, my handy-dandy notebook. Any Blues Clues fans here? So I should have 2665. We're at 266. Just a little under-gemmed here, little under-gemmed. And so when I look at that, I'm thinking like, all right, as I get through Beastmakers, I'm going to have to, especially towards the end of Beastmakers, I'm going to have to try to grab some extra gems in Treetops, Misty Bog, and as well as the Dreamweaver's Homeworld in particular. Yo, what's up, Josh? Thank you for the good luck. Appreciate you. And Ult, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. So here's the third of the flight levels. We do a nice turnaround at the beginning right here in order to catch these plane cycles. You can even skip the last plane because we can catch them later. But at this point, we are just flying through rings and boxes, so we have plenty of time for donations at this point. We have $1 million from Outrageous Josh. He says, frick. we have Cock from Steven. He says, gaming. He says, balls. Diddles. You guys got any good donation messages for me? $1 million. We have a $69 donut. Oh, here's the plane. Saying money, 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 money. Ah, yes, the Mr. Krabs connoisseur. Dude, my mind was blown when I found out that the Mr. Krabs laugh is literally just a sped up version of like the sailor laugh, just like I never made that connection in my life before. But you know, your boy's been binge watching SpongeBob voice actors. Dude, you know what's another fun fact about that is Squidward's voice actor's wife plays Plankton's in-show voice actors. She plays the computer lady. So Squidward's wife plays the computer lady that's Plankton's wife in SpongeBob. Small world. All right, so we're going over to Blowhard here. What I'm trying to do is really maximize my movement at this point because there's global cycles with the platforms coming up in this room right here. So let me see if I can catch those. You see, I just barely catch that platform as it's rising. You can even catch that platform if you're super fast. You can catch that second one as it's descending and jump off of it. Very risky strap, but we call that super duper, super crazy fast cycle, aka the dayo. Full humility. That section is really tough too. If any of you guys remember that section casually as a kid, you got to take it super slow if you're not very familiar with this game. Blowhard, only the top, that yellow part of Blowhard is the only active part of his hitbox, so he can be kind of annoying when you're trying to flame him on the ground without doing a jump, and it's like, why isn't it hitting? Same thing right here, we have to do a jump charge to fully hit him. Rolling into his gems. Ooh, don't want to skip that, whoa, don't want to skip that 25 right there. You can see we're starting to get to some of the heavier gem denominations here, gold and purple. We do not want to miss golds or purples in this run. I mean, you can miss a gold or a purple, but it has serious implications for the rest of the route. And speaking of the rest of the route, we're moving over to the fourth homeworld. You'd think I'd know after like 8 years, right? But no, I don't. Hey, Danimals Yogurt, you're my favorite video. Crash Bandicoot and the Rayman Completely Child. Thanks, Nova. Yeah, at this point we're getting a little deeper into the run now, and since we've completed so many levels and gems already, we can actually afford to skip the first level of this homeworld, Terrace Village. For many years, this first level was done in the any percent route, but only after like, I kid you not, after like 5 years of having that route with Terrace Village, it was actually proven to be slower to go into Terrace versus collecting gems earlier in the game. So I think, personally, I think with this run, I think there is still room for improvement in the route. And indeed, with this gem route that we have in this, with this run that you're seeing, it does give you that buffer space in order to miss gems and collect extras. Now, Wild Flight, this is the toughest of all the flight levels right here. So buckle in. What I have to do is nail this first, you could say kind of easier first half of the level. Pretty solidly. I do not want to flop. I don't want to bonk on anything. Got to make a couple tight turns here, but where it really gets intense is in the second half of the level. So let's see if I can nail it. Rest in peace to these little boat guys. One thing I cry every time I think about is like these little boat guys, and same thing with the train guys in Sunny Flight. Hey, they're not attacking you. They're not doing anything. They just want to ride their boats, man. Why we got to blow them up like that? Okay, plane cycles here. Now this is where it gets intense. Got to do a little turnaround here in order to catch all of the planes without going all the way through that tunnel. You can even catch that plane that just passed me right there. Catch these. You want to wait back, and then we crash into the wall at the end in order to skip the animation, an unskippable animation of Spyro flying up into the air for 4 seconds. So at the end of every flight level, I'll be crashing into a solid piece of collision in order to skip that 4-second animation. And again, it's like, why didn't I just go directly into that wind tunnel right there? It's I need all those gems that you saw me collect right there. And that totaled up to maybe like 20 or 30. So in the span of like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, that's super worth it from a gems per second standpoint. And indeed, we're taking that same sort of mindset into Misty Bog here, as well as Treetops. There are extra gems you can grab, but here we can start to, depending on where we're at with gems, we can start to be a little bit more, we can skip over a few gems with how we approach these levels, depending on how well the run's gone up to this point. And I'm pretty sure I'm just a little bit behind on gems right now, so I'm not going to be too aggressive with it. Ooh. Those frogs. These are also some of the toughest enemies in the game, especially casually. If you're not familiar with flame charging or anything like that, you will get hit by almost all these enemies. In fact, that island over there to the side, that place is a doozy, man. There's at least, like, how many enemies are even in that island? Probably like 10, 15 of those frogs and metal guys in one room. So we'll see how I handle that later on. We are going to be going to that island later in the level once we clear out this bottom area. Dude on the couch behind me is kind of sus. What, are you talking about Toulouse? Hey man, calling Toulouse sus? There's only love for Toulouse in this chat room. Only cute chats. Okay, can I catch? I did miss. So, okay, so that second hog, I got the flame charge, but the first one saw that blue gem back there. I did not get it. So, really good example of how just the tiniest spacing and timing difference in your flame to charge is going to make the difference of whether you collect gems or not in this category when you're actually going fast, right? Again, referring back to that flame charge timing, the flame charge as well as charge glide timing adds a ton of nuance to the way that you execute movement in this category. It's really not always quite as simple as just, you know, jump and charge and just move, you know. But especially when you add in gems and collection to the equation, and Sparks' gem range to the equation, and the RNG of when gems explode out of boxes and think, oh, ooh! You can only jump off of one polygon out of that corner. That was a godly swag strat right there. Like, for example, talk about some RNG right there. That enemy can totally see you early and just go for you, not allowing you to get the jump and charge glide into the dragon spot here. Now, let's see if we can get this island correctly. Again, one of the toughest rooms of the game right here. Damageless, let's see. Okay. Oh, wow, he sniped me. Did you see that? Okay, we're good. That's fine. And then one more. All right, we're good. We're good. We still got Sparks. As long as we still have Sparks here, I'm happy. What's Penji's doing? Penji's just banning everyone? Is this what, are you recreating the GDQ experience for me here? Yeah, what is happening? All right, so that's Misty Bog done. One of the toughest levels in the whole game, actually. But I think with these levels, especially with Misty Bog, with enemies that are flame chargeable, I think the more that you practice the actual movement tech of flame charging and get more used to the mechanics, the easier those enemies become. But we'll start to see enemies in Dreamweavers that totally totally just mess with that whole premise, because a lot of these enemies, like this little tiny guy right here, you could totally just flame charge him, no problem. But now imagine if he had like metal armor on, which is the case for like the turtles in Dark Passage, for example. So in that way, you end up getting this really strong difficulty curve as you go through the levels in the game. Now, you'll notice I'm just bonking all over this guy. If you beat this guy to the dragon, it's like a little race to this dragon you can see with this green guy here. If you beat him to that race, then he'll actually teleport to this next island right here. But I'm trying to get a strat right here called Lore Launch. And we got it! Hype in the chat! Swag Lord! Killing it. But we do have to wait for a few seconds after cleaning up this island for that green... thief to catch up with us, because he didn't teleport because we didn't beat him in the race. Now would you hang out, do a couple of 360s, you know, swag out. Give me that. Beautiful flame charge on him as well. And with an enemy like that, like, it's tough to get close enough in order to hit the flame charge without bonking on him either, you know? So there's that element as well, where like you're kind of going off to the side and just trying to go as fast as you can while avoiding the bonk. Like ascending stairs in this game, like you want to go fast, right? You want to like press that square button to hit that charge onto the stair as quickly as possible, but really you don't, because like take these stairs for example, really giving myself the full hop in order to get onto them because I don't want to bonk, you know? So it's a careful balancing act you play with the movement in this game, where you're really trying to optimize it, but not too much to where you're bonking on everything. You end up making yourself go slower than you want. But yeah, that trick earlier was awesome. That was called a Laura launch, and that's based off of abusing the supercharged ramp mechanics, which we're going to do here as well. I did a nice full hop into that in order to get full speed, and we're going to press X late on this wall to get up to this area early. You're supposed to charge through the entire level to reach this. Yes. Very nice. Very nice treetops, all in all. Even with the Miss Blue right there. I will take that all day. Why is it called Laura Launch? I don't know. Actually, that's an interesting question. Anyways, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. This next level has one of the only out of bounds in the entire game. Interestingly, whenever you get squeezed between an enemy and a wall, you get proxied, similar to the mommy proxy earlier. But with this one, you get squeezed up in here, and you go straight through the wall. That's the only, as far as I know, that's the only situation in this game where you actually clip through a wall entirely from getting squeezed between an enemy and collision. So. Really cool. Again, with the Mama proxy and with Rat proxy you'll be seeing later in this run, we do a similar setup where we get squeezed between an enemy's collision and the wall, but it actually ends up with us being shot up into the air. So it's an interesting inconsistency in the mechanics of this game, but I think it does speak a lot of volumes to the solidity of how this game is built, you know, like this is a very consistent game, you know. There's very few situations that you're going to run into that are like, oh, you know, the game did something wrong, or oh, I didn't expect that to happen, or oh, if I did. You'll always find a situation in this game if you do something wrong that's like, if I do this different next time, then I can fix that. And so it really makes for a really nice skill curve as a speed game where you have a lot of control over what's happening. Even with Sparks' gem range, a lot of people think that Sparks is inconsistent with its gem range, but in fact is very consistent in this game. And the more you start learning the way Sparks responds to gems or groups of gems, or how his range changes when you're charging or walking and what direction he's facing, you really start to become one with the Sparks, you know, and you'll start to know when to slow down in order for Sparks to see stuff, and when to push it a little bit because you know Sparks is going to see it. And yeah, you really get a good sense. The more and more you play this, the experience really does shine through in the actual execution of the movement, which I love, especially once you start getting these gems involved. Interestingly, there's a category in this game where we don't collect any gems or dragons or dragon eggs. And you may be wondering, well, how do you do that? How do you get from start to finish without doing that? And that category is called Vortex, or Vortex %. And what you have to do is enter every exit level vortex in the game. Not every level has one, but many of them do. And what we do is at the start of the game, we enter a cheat code to unlock all worlds. And then all we do from then to the end of the game is jump through every exit level vortex. And what it creates is this type of run where we're really using as many broken sort of abusing the mechanics of the game to the full extent, where we're using enemy boosts, proxies in almost every level. I wish I could get up this ledge. Please, okay. You have to jump to like the side there and then curve it up. And so if you miss it once, it's actually kind of awkward to recover. Jeez. That ledge has definitely messed up a lot of my world record paces before. Anyways, heading to one of the later homeworlds in this game, Dreamweavers. We only have Nasty's World after this. So we got, at this point, we're going to be recovering gems. I do believe I'm a little behind on gems. Haven't been checking the gem counter, but before I get off on a tangent here, I just want to say, if you're interested in just like this raw movement mechanics of this game, check out Vortex Percent. I dare I say it's probably the most popular category for this game, at least right now, and it's a really cool speedrun. Also, check out the video done by Hummeldon, longtime Spyro 1 player and excellent YouTuber. Can I get it? No! Almost got the Flora flop right there. Named after the same Laura as Laura Launch. I'm gonna flame that so that way I don't lose my sparks. I almost charged into it. If you charge into it, it'll explode immediately, but you need to have at least blue sparks so that way you don't lose your sparks, right? So anyways, definitely check out Vortex Percent. Really, it's the third real main category of this game. Vortex, any percent, and 120% really cumulatively add up to what Spyro 1 is as a speed game, at least categorically. And again, this is definitely a very active speed game right now. Tons of people streaming it, so if you're curious about this game or you want to see more of it, kind of see what it's like to be grinding out runs of it or get help from people, there's tons and tons and tons of resources on the Spyro Speedrunning Discord, as well as if you just follow the Spyro directories on Twitch, look up Spyro 1, Spyro 2, Spyro 3, or any of the offshoot games. By the way, I didn't even mention there's like Spyro Season of Flame, Spyro Season of Ice, and all the Reignited Trilogy games. There's active communities to varying degrees for all of those games, so check them out. Follow the games on Twitch and start popping in people's streams, and you'll start seeing a lot of cool stuff and a lot of amazing streamers and just a lot of amazing people through that experience. I know I have. Saboom LBC has the record. Okay, let me tell you something. So for 7 years, I speedran this game. Just this game, just 120%. 7 years. And for most of that time, I never thought I would even come close to world record because, like I was saying, the experience has a huge effect on whether you're able to really play at the highest level. Let's check my gem count. 656. Nice. So those guys had a ton of experience on me at the time. You know, and frankly, when I would do runs, even I'd be practicing a lot, playing the game for, you know, years at a time, you know, and I would do like long grinds, it would still not be enough. And I'd be like, man, there's just no way I'm going to get, you know, a record in this game. They are just on another level. And it's, again, it's speaking volumes to the value of experience in speedrunning this game and the amount that you can actually, of knowledge that you can glean from it by really taking it apart and spending a lot of time with it. But anyways, and this is true for a lot of speed games as well. But anyways, after 7 years of streaming this game and speedrunning it, it was thanks to the generosity, I think, of my streams community as well as all of you guys watching right now that I decided to stick with it, never give up. And as time went on, I got closer and closer and closer. And now I'm the dual world record holder in any percent and 120%. So it's very surreal for me, having spent many years on this journey and grind, having gotten to this point where I'm sitting here on the GDQ stream right now doing a run for you guys. You know, one of the first single segment speedruns I ever saw of this game was ZFG playing Ocarina of Time all the way back in 2012, 2013 on the GDQ stream. So to have that whole experience come full circle like that, oh, I didn't get enough gems! No! F's in the chat. F. Okay, so I thought I had enough gems. I guess I didn't. 120 moment. Did I do the 120 route I did a 120 route by accident. You can tell I'm just talking about 120. I just love the category so much. I just want to revisit the homeworlds and just collect more stuff. All right, well, anyways, we're going to head back out of here, collect the remaining gems required to get out of here and move over to Nasty's World. This is not a huge time loss. The run is far from over, my friends. We are good. That's hey, let this be a lesson. This is another really cool aspect about this game is that even the worst of mistakes like that, you know, a game over, you know, or you go to the wrong homeworld, you don't have enough gems. It's like what, like a 1 minute time loss? Like the run's not over at all. I just keep going and it's all good. I ain't even tripping, you know. So I think it makes it a really accessible type of game in that way. So let me check my gem count. 5992. Let me grab these right here. That's 2, 7, 9, and that's enough for me to get over to Nasty's World. Sweet. Yeah, I think I forgot the boxes right before the jock fight. I think that's what it was. Was that what it was? I don't know. Any experts in the chat wanna weigh in? What's up, Ricky? How's it going? Okay, guys, so this is the biggest part of the run right here. This is where it's make it or break it. If you're on world record pace, it doesn't matter, because there's a trick right here called rat proxy that I'm either gonna get or I'm not gonna get, okay? I get a few tries at it, so we'll see if I can get it. Nope, that was a bonk right there. So you can see I'm trying to wedge Spyro in between the rat and the corner, but there's some RNG to this because I'm reliant heavily on the rat's movement cycle. So already the rat's in a bad spot right here. I could just death abuse just to reset him, but I'll see what he does. No, not quite, not quite. I'm gonna have until about 41 minutes and 30 seconds on my timer, which is about another 2 minutes to attempt this trick. So please hype up in the chat, spam Doritos. We named this rat after the little bullets they shoot in Twilight Harbor, the Doritos. Oh, that was a close one. You can see I almost got in there. It's really hard to get between the rat and the corner. Even when you do have a nice lineup like that, that game over is okay. It'll take us right back to the home world. And so the hard part about it is really getting into that corner. It's not necessarily lining it up or getting a lucky rat, but it's actually getting that execution to where you get into the corner before the rat does. Let's see where he goes here. And now would be a nice moment for some donations while I grind this out. No. My Bubby can make a rat proxy. Yeah, it's my favorite dish, rat proxy. Yeah, maybe this one. Yes! Okay, we got it. We got it. Now look at this. Straight through the collision of the top of the dragon head. That is the only dragon head in this entire homeworld that has no collision on the top. It was due to a memory shortage when they were coding this game and we're in a time crunch at the end of development. And thank goodness for that, because that allows us to do an endgame 2-level skip, which optimally saves about 40 seconds. Got that first try on world record, but man, even getting it within a few attempts like that is really cool. It's really rare, to be honest. And you can see I could have been stuck there grinding that for like, I've been stuck there grinding that for, I don't know, 30 minutes. I've grinded that for 50 minutes straight on a run once. And so yeah, it's a very finicky trick, but at this point we're just chasing Nasty through his final level here. We want to stay as close to him as possible here in order to make him move more quickly. Hit him on a quick hit right there before he hits his platform. And we're almost done here and get ready for time. We just got to run through this last part. Look at his jumps. Woo! LeBron James with the hops. Almost to the end. And time. That's a 41-40. So, that was Spyro the Dragon, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry I took so long. A nice little ironic thing for Spyro to say at the end, but you know what, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm honored once again to be finally here at GDQ after all these years of playing this game. If you guys are interested in watching more of this game, be sure to follow my stream down below. It's Dayo Man. I have a YouTube as well. Be sure to join the Spyro Speedrunning Discord, and be sure to follow the Spyro directories on Twitch. But besides that, I want to say thank you for having me. I love you. You guys have been the cutest chat I've ever seen in my life. And I look forward to future GDQs. I'll see you guys around, and I'll see you guys on Twitch. Peace. No, I'm not doing Reignited.